Then in Iran today, thousands of demonstrators are following Egypt's lead in protesting their own government and leaders. But Iranian security details are out in force, firing tear gas and beating back protesters with batons there. Officials have banned the anti-government demonstrations. A reformist website says Iranian security forces are blockading the home of an opposition leader to stop him from attending that march. NBC News Tehran bureau chief Ali Arouzi joins me now on the phone. And you know what was interesting as part of this entire situation in Iran here, Ali, is that Ahmadinejad did support the demonstrators in Egypt, but is not applying that same approach in his own country.
That's right, Richard. These demonstrations today were banned a week ago. The opposition here had put in an application to come out in support of Egypt and Tunisia today, and that was flatly rejected. But it didn't stop protesters coming out today. For 10 o'clock this morning, the protest started. There was a young girl who went out outside the Revolutionary Court. She climbed on top of a big construction crane and was waving a green flag and holding up signs of and pictures of protesters that had been arrested last year. Then today, on the main procession of the march, which is called Revolutionary Road, thousands of Iranians took to the road despite a heavy security presence on the streets. Crowds were beaten back, tear gas was used, and they're still out there right now as we're speaking, Richard, defying a strict warning from the government.
You know, Ali, as you know, as we've been watching what's happening in the region, it is who is in the streets, who is protesting. In this case in Iran, what are you seeing?
Well, it's a big cross section of people. They're people from all walks of life here. They're conservative-looking people, middle-class people, students, old and young. There's a large cross section of Iranians out today, and we were all very surprised to see them out today. Nobody actually thought people would have the courage to come out in the face of this huge crackdown, but they came down, and the opposition leaders weren't even allowed out of their house. Despite that, people still took to the streets. I mean, these are scenes that we haven't seen here in at least a year and a half or so.
You know, another thing here, Ali, is, you know, during the Egypt crisis and the revolution, the discussion of an Ayatollah being in Iran but not having the same sort of figure in Egypt, that comparison was made a lot here. What do they want in terms of the theocratic rule in Iran? What do they want to change?
Well, I mean, a famous adage here has become that people don't know what they want, but they know what they don't want. And what they don't want is this hardline, austere ruling power controlling every minutiae of their life. What they do want is a little more unclear here. You know, there's a lot of people who want different things in Iran, but one thing they all do want is reform.
All right, Ali Arouzi with the latest, I guess, a small parallel, if you will, with what we saw happen in Egypt as well. Appreciate that. They're live in Iran.